What's up, guys? Welcome back to Among the Fins. I am your host, Aaron, and thank you so much for joining me on Request Wednesday, where I take one of the requests off the whiteboard and do a review on it. Today, we're going to be talking about the album Nija by the band Orbit Culture. Orbit Culture is a melodic death metal band from Sweden. They started about 2013, and I feel kind of weird calling them a melodic death metal because they have a bunch of different elements thrown into their music. And it took me a little bit to figure out what the name of the album, like how to actually pronounce it, Nija. And I watched this interview thing where they were talking about it, and this guy pronounced it Naya, I believe. So I was going to call that. But then when I was listening to some of the songs, they actually say the word in one of their songs, and they pronounced it Nija. So I'm just gonna call it that from now on. The first thing that I noticed about this album is it's not quite as dark sounding as I was expecting it to be from being a Swedish death metal band. For some reason, I was looking for just, it's not quite as rough around the edges. I've been listening to a lot of Feared lately, and it's a little bit closer to like In Flames, if anything else. It's got a little bit smoother production. Like I said, it's just not as dark. It's got a lot more lighter moments, and it's not as heavy. It's a little bit easier listening. And just because it's lighter listening does not mean that it is light listening, because the first song At the Front comes raging right out of the gate, and the vocals are brutal, and the rhythm is fantastic. The clean vocals in the chorus didn't really do it for me all that much, and that's going to be a very common thing throughout most of these songs, and it's something I will address at the end of the video, mainly the enunciations that they use in all of the clean vocals throughout this entire album. But basically, the music is badass, especially the drums, which just keep pounding away throughout this entire song. I listened to the song a few times, and when I really focused on the drums, which it wasn't very hard to do, it just goes. It just plows right through. The second song, North Star of Nija, is huge. It has a huge sound to it. Again, distorted vocals are absolutely insane. The cleans, again, they just don't really do it for me. The lyrics are fantastic and have great storytelling. And for a song this huge, and it is a little bit more on the heavier side, the pre-chorus and the chorus felt very weak to me. But again, I feel like that has a little bit to do with the clean vocals, the guitar, and the drums, mainly in the bridge. Honestly, throughout this whole song, but in the bridge were absolutely just, they were brilliant. They sounded so good. Lyrics in Day of the Cloud paint this amazing picture and communicate so well. Unfortunately, the chorus didn't really do it for me again, but it's made up for in the verses. The chorus, just the tempo and the pacing slows way down, and the guitars and the drums just kind of fall flat, and the vocals just aren't really there. And it just, again, for a song so big and so epic, to throw such a mediocre chorus in there, at least to my ears, it hurts the song quite a bit. But again, the verses and the guitar solo at the end, followed by the outro, is an absolute freaking gem. Behold starts out with clean vocals and acoustic guitar, which it does have a pretty steady climax, and I did enjoy it quite a bit, a lot more than I thought I was going to. The riff in the chorus is absolutely amazing. It's so dynamic. And yeah, just as the song goes on, it gets better and better. And the more you listen to it, it gets better and better. And the song Mere Slave is, I don't want to say it's a copycat of Metallica's Sad But True, but it's a very, very hard nod to Sad But True. It has the same vocal delivery, has the same stomping rhythm. I will say it is quite a bit different, and it does have the same kind of build-up feel that Behold has, which adds a little bit more dynamics to it. It isn't just a straight through song. I was hoping for a little bit more though, and it just didn't do it for me. Opening Eye is extremely fast, and the riff in the pre-chorus is so fat. These guys are so good at writing dynamic riffs. All the music in this album is solid. Even this song had clean vocals in it, but they changed it a little bit with their pacing and just the cadence and the delivery. And I actually loved the vocals in this song. And verse 3 and verse 4 is absolutely freaking killer. And the song Rebirth, which is kind of a ballady song, the vocals get rough for me again. But as it goes through, it does get a little bit better. And all the performances are just top notch, especially the drums. I guess the guitar work and the drums, I gotta admit, I didn't hear a whole lot of like crazy standout bass lines, but honestly, the music in this is perfection. My favorite song on the album is Nija. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It has this intro that I never wanted to stop, and the vocals switched roles in this song. So there's clean vocals in the verse, and there's the distorted vocals are in the chorus. So it's completely switched from all the other songs in this album. And the riff sounds absolutely amazing in the verse with the clean vocals, and the whole thing is just it's just perfect. Everything about this has different layers, has different progressions. It's dark, it's heavy. This is what I was expecting to hear when I put this album on, was every song basically sounding like this. And even though it doesn't have vocals I particularly care for, mainly the clean vocals, the distorted vocals are, in all honesty, some of the best distorted vocals I've heard, especially in this genre. But even though the clean vocals aren't really my cup of tea, they're used in a way where it works, and it works really good in this song. The song, The Shadowing, has amazing rhythm that makes you want to get up and start stomping your feet and throwing your fists around. And the clean vocals really push their limit in this song. It sounds really good. And I feel like this song is all about epicness, and it works out pretty well. And in the last song, Set Is Free, it is an instrumental, and it's not very long. I believe it's less than a minute. Normally, I don't like instrumentals. I feel, especially something like that, where it's more like a segue into something. But in this case, it works out pretty well, and it closes the album out. Well, again, it adds a little bit more darkness to it, and it closes it out nicely. So the main issue I have with this album are the clean vocals. And like I mentioned before in the song Mirror Slave, it sounds like a nod to Metallica's Sad But True. And in all honesty, the clean vocals sound like a Metallica knockoff. And yeah, they're basically a Metallica knockoff. It sounds like James Hetfield joined a Swedish death metal band. And yes, I understand different vocalists are going to sound the same and blah, blah, blah. But it mostly comes in his enunciation. He has the this thing where he enunciates any word that ends in a vowel. He throws "ya" at the end of it. For instance, in the song "Behold," it has the word "society" in it, and instead of saying "society," he says "society," yeah, and that's how every damn word is pronounced that ends in a vowel in the clean vocals, and it has the same distorted. It's just, yeah, it sounds like James Hetfield joined a Swedish death metal band. That's honestly the best way to describe it. And it doesn't sound bad in any way. If you guys are Metallica fans and you want something a little bit heavier, this is definitely the way to go. And I don't particularly dislike Metallica. I just find that the clean vocals in this took away from the originality of the rest of the band. The distorted vocals in this album are absolutely insane. Like I said before, some of the best distorted vocals I've heard in this genre. The music is top notch. I mean, these guys are insane when it comes to songwriting. Even just their song placements and how they flowed into each other. It's all perfect. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a knock for me, just the Metallica voice, which, again, it really wasn't all that bad. And if you love Metallica and you want something heavier, like I said, this is it, because this is still some really good stuff. So with all that said, I gotta give Nija by Orbit Culture a 7 out of 10. And if you guys have listened to Nija before, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what you thought, what you would rate it. And I'm curious too to see if anybody else got the Metallica vibes from it as well, because every time I heard the clean vocals, seriously, all I heard was James Hetfield. And if you would like to take part in Request Wednesday, leave a comment below letting me know what you would like me to review. An album, EP, single, new or old, whatever. We'll throw it up on the whiteboard and we will get you squared away. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, or if you leave a request, please don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon. That way you get notified when I do upload. That way you don't miss out on your request when I review it, because a lot of times that happens very frequently and it just makes me sad. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your night. You're staying safe. You're listening to good music. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was trying